welcome to a transfer deadline day special Burkamp Wonderland thingy part 4. As you can see, we don't care anymore. I will introduce my guest to you now. Danny, the one that has to be here, my saviour. Is that the best you can come up with?
We've seen a couple of disparaging tweets saying that why are people doing massive transfer day show? Well, we're not going to sign anyone. We said this before we did it. We're only doing it so these lovely people can come on and be a bit famous for 5 minutes, and then once the groupies turn up.
Whose opinion I could not give a fuck about making comments like that?
We're not sure who they're on about, because they could have meant Sky Sports News, who have managed to milk an entire.
No, come on, we'll be honest. We're good on this show. It was Blackburn George, and yes, the bloke is a complete cunt.
There you go. It's all downhill from here then.
And that's pretty much wrap it up. Thank you very much for listening. That was our Burkamp Wonderland Deadline Day Special Part 4 thingy. We'll be back in a couple of hours. No, we'll carry it on there. I will introduce my first guest tonight is Aaqib. Hello, Aaqib.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Alright, it's a pleasure. How the devil are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm not too bad at all. Selling the puppies one by one. 2 gone today, thank you very much. Next up on the list is Ellis Mel. Hello, Ellis.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm not too bad at all. How are you?
Very well, thank you for having me on.
Not too depressed in the transfer window?
No, not yet.
No,
I will be when we don't sign a Boué, but...
Wait till the end of this podcast. You'll be putting razors in your wrists, trust me. Next up is Liam. Hello, Liam.
Hello.
And how the devil are you?
Oh, he's there. I was about to message him again.
Hello.
That's how seamless this was until you had to point out that he wasn't here when we started.
You haven't got your little logo up, Liam. You can use your own podcast one if you want. We don't mind.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
Yeah,
I just had to rush from work and then just rush my dinner. It's like I just had a set goal and I've made it for this evening show, so I'm proud of myself.
We don't worry about the competition. We're bisexual on this show. Joining me next, French John. Hello, John.
Hi, Gimli. How are you?
Oh, that voice. You could turn me bisexual with that voice alone. I'm nursing a semi-young Frenchman.
Depends. Do you have a big beard or not? If you don't have any beard, you can do something. We can.
Could you say Olivier Giroud?
Olivier Giroud.
Oh, I'm gone. Take over. I'm spent. Next, joining us is Steffan. Say hello, Steffan.
Hello, everyone.
And how the devil are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Good, good. And finally, I must introduce to the party Sim. Hello, Sim.
Hello, Sim. How are you?
I'm one.
Where have we stolen Sim from? We've got him on hire for half an hour.
From Goonosphere.
Oh, what a pod that is. And you got a new one out, Sim.
I don't. They do. It's really good.
Want you.
I mean, they forced me to say this, so... Yeah.
I was going to say he's as bad as a pirate, isn't he?
Yeah, kind of.
Right. Where do we start this off then? I guess people's feelings on the day so far. Sim, you are normally the voice of reason. So you said before we kicked off...
Are you still charging, Gim?
Yes, I am. You weren't really overly worried about the transfer window. Are you going to install a level of calmness to the podcast that's rarely seen?
No, fuck no. We should be panicking. We've signed no one. No Pogba, no Royce, no Messi, no Ronaldo, no Neymar, no Suarez. We're completely and utterly fucked. We didn't get Bale either. I mean, I'm just thoroughly disappointed. I just think that there were so many players out there that we could have got that we just completely fucked up on. I mean, I sat at home and I was just flambeing my testicles earlier. I mean, it was a cooking experiment and it kind of went wrong. The less said, the better. They got really itchy and I've just been massively uncomfortable. But besides that, the day has been fantastic.
The memo is coming in from Mems. He's saying that we have tried for all of those players, that none of them are available.
I love Memsy Doggy. Memsy Doggy is my favourite.
I wish he was dead. Steffan, we'll go to you next and your overall thoughts on the transfer window.
Well, nothing has happened, and I'm pretty pleased about it, to be honest with you, because I reckon we've got a pretty good team already. With everyone coming back, we should be able to push on at the moment. So I'm not really that bothered. I'm not sure if I'm just trying to put a positive kind of light on it because, I've just been waiting for this day with nothing happening. But generally, I am quite a positive guy, and that's the way it is. So I got to apologise if you don't want me to be. So that's it.
Gimli, you've been muted. Unmute yourself.
It said Sim had muted me.
No, he's been a tit. Sim, behave.
No, like genuinely, I saw that it said that I'd muted Gimli, and I was wondering how I managed to do it.
You'll be the first cunt in history that's done that. Not even my missus can manage that.
I think I would have got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yourself a backhander.
John, give us in your finest French accent what your thoughts are on the day.
On today, when I see the player was signed, I'm not happy we didn't get anybody because no one is good enough to at least be on the bench for us today. So just I'm happy with Mohamed. That's it. We signed at least someone who looks to be not too bad. So I'm happy with that.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I think that's a fairly good analysis of it all. Liam, were you happy with just Mohamed El Nene?
I think we could have added a few more in certain areas to kind of just put that cherry on the cake. But I think El Nene's a great signing. Yeah, of course I want Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Suarez and everyone, but at the end of the day it's not going to happen. So, yeah, I feel like we could have added in some areas, but I'll take El Nene for now. And also, just a little shout out for Yo Sanogo. Might be going to Charlton. Just
I
reading
think
that
that would be epic, and he will do fuck all there also. Aaqib, I think there's been less of a backlash from what I've seen on Twitter this year of the moaning of people not going on about us as being quite silent or non-productive in the transfer window. Do you think most of the fan base are happy with the knowledge that most of our players will be coming back from injury very shortly, and that the squad is good enough to take it to the end?
I don't think a lot of people are happy because there's people saying that we should just get a body in just because they want a new signing, and those people are idiots because we want players that will improve the squad, not just just a signing for the sake of signing. And we do have players coming back, and there aren't any players available, in my opinion, that would improve the squad and get into the first team.
No, if your Worldie became available, would you fork out 70 million in the winter transfer window?
Ooh,
Halfway through a season, you've got to say, does it affect the balance of the squad? Could there be an argument for that?
Yeah, but also for the signing, it's a European year, so if they have a decent, Euros, the price goes up. So if a worldie becomes available, then yeah, I would go for it.
And Ellis, your thoughts on the day itself? Did you expect anyone to come in, or did you think El Nene and done?
No, I didn't expect anyone to come in, really. I just think it's another day of the year. It goes by, so no, I wasn't expecting much at all. I don't think many clubs have really done very much good business today, really, or even this window. I don't think there's many quality players available, to be honest.
No, most of our I don't think most of our fan base look at this as a day to sign players. They just look at it as the chance to get on a Bergkamp Wonderland, and
exactly.
Long may it continue. Danny, you've been very silent over there. What are you eating?
I have had a bag of cheese and onion. I turned down 2 chocolate eclairs, a custard tart, and a custard donut.
All right, Arsene Wenger.
Hey! But I've got something out of the bin that is useless. I'll just use that instead.
Lovely.
So the transfers for today is looks like De Boichi's going to go to Bordeaux. It looks like Sanogo's loan's been cancelled at Ajax and he's probably going to Charlton. They're in talks. And then Nabry, Brighton or Charlton. Is it Brighton or Charlton? No, it's Brighton or... Who was it?
Fulham.
Yeah, Brighton, Charlton or Fulham. And then who's the other one? There was talk of the Ox, but that's all gone away because they got some real shit to talk about. The Ox was maybe, they were saying that Southampton or Chelsea. Yeah, not going to happen. So we've lost 3 players looking like today. That's brilliant, isn't it? But, none. Excellent. But no one thought we were going to, really, I suppose.
Fairly downbeat then.
If I wasn't living in a bungalow, I'd chuck myself out the window. Obviously, I'd grease the window first so I don't get stuck.
So I think the main question is, and I asked this on one of the previous shows earlier today, is we are in a strong position to win the league. Personally, I think Leicester might drop points still. I don't think they're going to be up there when it comes to it, and I'd love to see them in the top four. I think Man City, there's a lot of change going on there. De Bruyne isn't fit. God knows how long he's going to be out for. So, this is our chance. I failed to see a time when we were in a better position to win the league. Sim, do you think he thinks that we've got enough now?
I guess he must do if he's not looking to sort of strengthen in the January transfer window. I mean, the sort of common thing is, all our players are going to come back, so we're going to be fantastically fine. But I just can't wait for a week later when 7 of them are going to be injured again and we're fucked. So it's completely impossible to say, and I just fucking hope he's right.
But on
But
that
more than
scale,
anything, it's come down to like pure and utter faith. Because Leicester have 3 really tough games coming up, so really it's going to come down to Arsenal and City, and I'm really fucking pissed off that Spurs are so close. But I think it will come down to Arsenal and City. De Bruyne getting injured is kind of a big boost for us, and it just depends on Aguero's fitness. I think that's what the league is going to come down to, whether or not Aguero can stay fit. Which is really fucking pessimistic from an Arsenal fan's point of view.
yes, it's a bit. Is there anyone here that doesn't think that we can win the league? Does anyone think that we've missed a massive trick here by not being able to strengthen the squad in January, and therefore, we might succumb to the crippling fate that is always injuries at Arsenal Football Club?
I still think we can win the league. I probably agree with Sim. I'm a bit pessimistic. I think injuries might fuck us over. But going back to the window, who's really available that we can bring in to better the squad at the moment that we could realistically get? Because no one else has moved to any other clubs. So I think we're just sort of like stick or twist, and we've just sort of sticked and just hope, fingers crossed, when the guys start coming back, no one else gets injured. Or if they do, it's not like for a long while.
And always, during this time, we always go on a little run of winnable games. Like last year, we went on a 10-game winning run. So that should happen this season due to history. So I think that we will improve a lot more, and I think we will win the league.
We just got to pretend that we're going for 4th place, because whenever we're going for 4th place, we always go on a good run, and we always become really consistent and get that 4th place. But whenever we're going for a league, we always seem to mess it up. So, let's just see 4th place ahead of us, and just imagine that Man United and Chelsea are up there, and we'll be fine, I think. So.
Yes, let's hope so. Liam, we'll come to you next. Now, you've heard what everybody said here. Are you pretty much in agreement with all of that?
Yeah, I think I'm still confident that we can win the league as such. I think you can always improve in certain areas, and you can always do an upgrade. But sometimes those upgrades just aren't available. So I think the squad what we've got, people are injured, they're coming back to full fitness now. We have a very strong squad, and the so-called big teams, Chelsea, United, they're not around us. Let's take advantage of that, and I think we can do that. Let's push on. The only thing that does worry me a little bit, I keep saying, 3 months ago, oh, Leicester will drop off now. Second month, oh, Leicester will drop off now. Now we're here, and they're still top of the league. But I don't know how long they want to continue for. The other thing that City have a pretty not bad goal difference. I think it's like 7+ to us. The only thing that I think could change that, do they really want to play for Pellegrini, knowing that Pep's now coming through the door, which may be a bit of an advantage for us. I don't know. But I think overall with the squad we've got, we've got Gabriel, Coughlin, El Neni, both rough-looking, ugly blokes you wouldn't meet down a dark alleyway. We've got that in our team, and we've got a big Petr Cech in goal, frightening man, 6 foot, God knows what, and that's, I think, the little difference that I can see this season. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with how things are. I think we can win the league.
And I think we should talk about El Nene as well, considering he is the only signing of the window. Now, is there anyone here that knows anything more about him that maybe they could educate some of the people listening, and even me myself, because I don't know an awful lot.
He was playing in Swiss, and I have Swiss friends who watch him a lot at Bale. I don't know what really the pronunciation of the name, but most of the people think Elneny can be a defensive midfielder. It's so wrong, because he's really attracted by the ball, by scoring. So he's more like a Ramsey, a bit younger. He has to learn, but he has pretty much the same quality as Ramsey. So he's just a box to box. He cannot play defensive midfielder. He's way more to attract by the ball, by scoring, by attacking. So if we're playing him as a DM, we'll have some trouble. And so the only guy who can play is Coquelin right now.
So would you say then, like from that really the fans' prayers haven't been answered? He is
Of
just
course not.
another midfielder,
Of
you know,
course.
just to toe the line.
Of course, remember, it's been like what? Since we sold Song 3-4 years, we are every transfer window like we want a GM, and we still don't have it. We had Coquelin. Luckily, it turned out to be a good player. It was really lucky because when you remember when 2 years ago, nobody thought it was possible, but it's the only one. Flamini, I love him. Oh my god, but he's just down. He doesn't have any legs to do his role. So just Coquelin, and then he cannot do cannot do that. Ramsey cannot. Wilshere, I'm not sure he will be able to play football at some point. So Coquelin is alone.
So would you? I mean, don't shout me out of town here, but would you say Elneny was more in the bracket of a Patrick Vieira, so to speak? Because a lot of people thought that Patrick Vieira was a defensive midfielder when he wasn't. He was more of a did the dirty bits when it had to be getting back and defending, but when it came to going forward, he would be box to box. Would you say that was a fair analysis of Elneny, John?
I didn't play much enough to say that, but yeah, he doesn't have the same physically body. I mean, we saw it. He's so thin, but yeah, he has a kind of okay with your analysis.
I'm sure that as is with the snake that's now at Chelsea and with Mesut Ozil as well, we saw those players come in, and in the first year we saw them bulk up a hell of a lot. So I think he is one of those that's been brought in for the future, not just as a quick fix.
Exactly, because this summer we will lose 3 players. I mean, Rosicky doesn't play anymore. Arteta is half gone, and Flamini doesn't have the legs. So it's really more for the summer, because we will lose so many players in the midfield. It's good to bring someone right now, play a bit, just get along with the squad, and hopefully we'll get someone else during the summer. So we have a strong squad in the midfield.
And Liam, I hear there was a little bit of controversy on your show. Was it last night involving a certain French-sounding old man? And was it surrounding the fact that he was kind of slagging off Elneny? And I think that's a little bit harsh, considering the fact that we've only seen one game from him, and it's very, very harsh to judge.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Elneny coming through the door, for what I've seen of what he played against Burnley, I was watching on the live stream on my laptop. I was watching him for a good 5 minutes, and he looks good. He looks dangerous. I think he's a bit more of a box-to-box kind of player, but he gets up, he can track back, and I think that's kind of what we need. And look, he's better than Firmino. He's got Champions League experience. He's been in a team, I believe, that has beaten Chelsea, Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Excuse me. So, I don't think you can really, define the guy off one performance against a home match against Burnley, even though they gave us a run for our money. But, he's done the job at the end of the day. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can provide for the team. And, even some goals. He wasn't frightened to have a good shot on goal.
he could have even got himself a goal right at the end there, because all Theo Walcott had to do was square it to him, and he was one-on-one. So, but it is a case of Walcott being A, anonymous, and B, when he does get the ball, being wasteful with it. Steffan, you've heard a little bit of El Nene in here tonight. You've watched him play. Is he a good signing for you? I know it's very early doors.
Well, it looks like he's got lots of legs, which is good, and you always like to see that from a player, when they're just running around, but actually not just running around, but, making intelligent runs, running into space, wanting the ball, because you see a lot of players, we talk about on our side, players that just want to hide all the time, but, he really looked like he wanted to get involved, but it's all going to be down to his mentality, really, to see how he really fits in the team, because when, if Ramsey's there, if Cazorla's there, maybe even Jack's there, he's not even going to get close to being in front of them. So, he might not be a DM, but, maybe you could say that about Coquelin a few years ago. You could say that about a lot of DMs, actually, when they're actually when they're young, they're not actually DMs, and it's their mentality and their intelligence that actually turns them into a really good DM. So it would be interesting to see how that develops over the next couple of years. But from what I saw of him, I was quite impressed. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely so. I have to agree with you. And I know there are people in the chat box that are slagging us off, saying you can't judge after one game. Trust me, we're not judging him after one game. We're going on what we know, what we've seen, and going from there. It would be impossible to judge a player after one game, and we wouldn't be that stupid to do so. Also, if anyone that's listening to this has got some questions, anything they want to ask any of the panel, get them in now. We will be live for around another 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less. So now is the time to get your questions into any of the panel members. Aaqib, we'll come to you next. You've been fairly quiet. I think a question to ask you. Is there any concerns you've had with this Arsenal team coming up into January and into the second half of the season?
I think what's worrying is that the performances of Theo Walcott and Oxlade-Chamberlain, obviously both of them haven't been performing. Walcott I think he hasn't had a good game since the Manchester United game. I mean, yeah, he scored a fantastic goal against Man City, but what's he done besides that? And with Oxlade-Chamberlain, he has such a good pre-season, but he hasn't lived up to that, to that hype, and it's worrying. Obviously, he's got time on his side. He's only 22 years old, and Walcott's 26, and he's been at the club for a long time, and he should be a lot better, but he just hasn't improved, and he's just not been good enough for me.
John, I understand you've got a question you want to ask.
Yeah, it was really something scares me right now. It's when Ozil is not at his best, we really lack of creativity. With Cazorla gone for at least a month or two, what do you think? Who will help us when Ozil is not at his best to really create stuff, to create goals? Because without Ozil at his best, no one is creating anything in our team, really.
I have got a question. Ellis, I will ask it to you. Peter Graham, he asked, I assume everyone would have the same defence, which, I believe that to be true. What would your starting 11 be against Barca for the first leg?
Well, I think you mentioned it in the chat box. People would go over us talking about Per and Gabriel. I'd probably still go for Per. I think him and Koscielny are a better partnership than Koscielny and Gabriel are together. But yeah, the same back four that probably everyone would have Per in there. Probably go in with Coquelin and Ramsey playing the holding midfield roles. Then have Ozil as a number 10 with. Depending on how Theo does, if he's still sort of playing the way he is, I might probably keep Campbell on the right and Alexis on the left, and then have Giroud up top, or maybe start with Theo and then bring Giroud on, because that game against Bayern Munich when we won, Theo Walcott really wore their defence ragged. You could tell that they were a bit scared of Theo Walcott's pace. So that could be something you could utilise and then bring on Giroud maybe later. But that's probably the team I'd go for.
No, anyone disagree with that?
Oh,
I
No.
do.
Okay.
I just wouldn't put Theo anywhere near the first team at the moment.
There's a surprise.
Start with Giroud and then probably I think Welbeck will be back then, so put him on. Give him a go.
Okay, I've got a good question from Sam Barr. Sim, this one's coming to you. Would there be any players you would swap in our squad for another player in the Premier League squad?
Ooh, who would I swap? I'd swap
Walcott
Debussy.
for Aguero.
Yeah, I'd swap Debussy for Aguero. Fuck it. That'd be the trade of the fucking season. Oh, that'd be amazing.
See, that kind of left us wide open there, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Just in response to the earlier question that Drew had with regards to who can provide creativity without Ozil. Bit of a sort of wild card idea or answer. I've seen sort of flashes of Ozil in Joel, and sort of how he's come along and he has these little reverse passes that seem to catch everyone unawares. And he has that little spark of creativity around the box. I reckon when Ozil's not there, Joel providing that, Alexis on the other side, and even Ramsey potentially playing further up the pitch with Giroud, could potentially supplement a lack of Ozil. Maybe not sustain it constantly, but for like a few game period, I think we could manage it.
That's an interesting thought. Anybody want to come in on that?
no.
No.
Yeah,
Next.
that's great.
Danny wants it, really. Look at his face. He really wants to answer.
I didn't hear the question. I'm busy typing in the new questions.
No, we'll go to the next question. Kirk Garnett. And this one will go to Steffan. Is Chambers the new version of Flamini? Covers right back, centre back, and DM.
I'm not sure if he's that crazy, to be honest with you. But yeah, he certainly looks like a very technically good player. I mean, when he first came in the side, that was the thing that really stuck out to me. He's got a bit of learning to do when it comes to defending, most notably heading, which I don't really think he's really ready for central defence. I put him and John Stones in a very similar bracket like that, where they're very good technically, but are they really the tough centre backs that you want? But, you know, he does look like a really good player for us that, you know, it might be difficult for him in the next couple of years to really find his spot. But, you know, there is actually spots going in defence. So, you know, when Mertesacker gives up, or, you know, some people actually just want to get rid of him now. But he's pretty good for the next couple of years, in my opinion. But if we're going to look at the kind of the player that reads the game, is probably a bit slow. You know, he is the kind of the replacement for Mertesacker, you know, so it would be interesting to see how he develops. But, you know, as I said, he got a bit of work to do until he's really ready to be a centre-back, in my opinion. But I reckon he can get there.
Right then, I think we're nearly done now. We're coming up to the half an hour. Of course, all the people that are listening to this, we will be back at 10:30. And I can confirm that it might have come. I said 20 to 9. They're taking the piss.
Are they?
Yes. And now I'm salivating and I'm hungry. So,
what have you ordered?
What have I ordered?
Yeah.
I've ordered crispy chili beef, egg fried rice, and some nice barbecue ribs.
Alsatian.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Yes. You've completely thrown me. Yes, Jeff Arsenal will be back with us at 10:30. And is there any of our waifs and strays that have actually committed to coming on a podcast, Danny? I know Kate's going to be there.
We've fired them all. Just want to read out a statement from Boy Tendayo. Chambers is the English Abue.
He's got a long way to come before he can be the new Abue.
Yeah.
Abue's on a free.
Abue is a cult hero.
So, before we go, we'll get
Ellis, you're playing right back next time in the pro clubs, you know.
We'll get some predictions for Southampton quickly. We will go Steffan.
4-0.
Okay, wonderful. Sim?
Sorry, what was the question? I was changing my pants.
Random. Predictions for Southampton.
Oh, okay. I feel really uncomfortable now. This reminds me of that time.
I would change your pants again if that's the case.
Fuck it. 3-0.
Okay, wonderful. John?
1-0.
Okay, Liam?
4-2. Charlie Austin brace for Southampton.
Oh. Ellis?
2-1 Giroud, obviously.
Why wouldn't you do it? Aaqib?
2-0 Alexis.
Wonderful. And Danny, I'll ask you Thursday. You're
No, it's going to be 1-0 Southampton over Charlie Austin header in about the 89th minute.
Are you taking a piss?
No?
No, to be fair, probably will.
Yeah.
Hold on, do you know what gives it away, Danny? Hello and welcome to a Burkamp Wonderland, an Arsenal podcast.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, we've got a bit of breaking news. Can I just come in?
Oh, good.
Oh,
Bushi has gone to Bordeaux on loan.
Has he gone?
He's gone.
Is it official?
Literally
You were going to say a Bouet had signed. For fuck's sake.
Who is coming now?
and on that bombshell,
Oh, Clarkson, go.
so that was a Burkamp Wonderland Deadline Day special part 4. We'll be back at 10:30 with Jeff Arsenal and more people.
Probably just you, me and Kate.
Yeah, it's just me, you, Kate, and if
No,
Jeff
we
can be
think
bothered to
that
turn
Welsh Justice might be on, Raj might be on. Chris said he might pop in. Hair flick, then he's off.
up. If he could put the rum and Timotei down.
Oh dear.
Right, so that was a Burkamp Wonderland Deadline Day special part 4. No one interrupt me. Thank you so much for listening, and keep it Arsenal. Back in a bit.